Glenville is the hometown of not just one, but two of pro football's elite, Shannon and Sterling Sharp.
My aunt's room. Gladys, Jane, Sherwoodine, Marynell. 4 girls slept in this room. This was my sister and my nephew's room right here. And this was the living room.
There's the living room right here. We used to have a telephone pole, a TV pole that you had to come out and turn so you could get the service. You know, you come out, right there, right there, right there.
It was the norm for us, so it wasn't out of the ordinary, you know, because we didn't go to our friends' houses and we didn't know, hey, we have a bathtub and we do this. The norm for us was going to the well and getting water. The norm for us was when you had to go use the bathroom, you found the place in the woods. That was the norm for us. So I would love to sit here and tell you how tragic it was, but it really wasn't. It was the norm for us, and it was definitely motivation, though, once we got older, that the only thing I ever wanted was to live in a house with running water.
Hey, do me a favor, because America, they may not understand. If you want to see the bathroom here for this house, just pan to your right. All that out there, there's your restroom.
I remember, you know, we'd stand in front of the fireplace and, you know, run in the back room and get in the bed and get up under the covers. Go into school with, you know, smut on the back of your pants because you stood too close to the fireplace because it was really, really cold. You know, there was no paneling in the house. There was no insulation in the house. It was basically cinder blocks, cement floors. And so it was really, really cold in the winter, and it was really, really hot in the summer. My grandfather, my grandmother, she and I slept in this room.
Mary Porter was a no-nonsense lady who raised 9 children and 3 grandchildren in this 1,000-square-foot house. At times, up to a dozen family members lived in this cinder block structure with a cement floor, no running water, no indoor plumbing, all heated by a tiny fireplace.
We had what we needed. We didn't ask for anything, didn't ask for a whole lot, and I think it made us determined.
In addition to farming, Granny supplemented the family income working as a housekeeper.
She worked at the Glenview nursing home from, I think her shift was from 7 to 3. She made $197 every 2 weeks. And how do I know? Because I looked at a paycheck once, and how she was able to keep my sister, my brother, myself, my 4 aunts, how we were able to survive off that. You know, sometimes you had to go, my grandmother had to make tough decisions. Is it going to be the lights or is it going to be the gas this month? I remember my grandmother telling a story about how they used to have to wash the clothes for the people that property they lived on Monday through Saturday. And on Sunday, they want to go to church. So they'd go to church and come back home, and the people would bring a load of clothes over, and she was like, it's Sunday and we just got back from church. And the people would tell them, say, well, Lou, if you don't wash these clothes, you're going to have to move on. And it just broke my heart.
Granny's financial anxiety was like a hammer pounding in Shannon's head. It became a constant rhythm that drove him forward.
I remember if, you know, you had a cut, you couldn't go to the doctor, and, you know, you might need 5, 10 stitches, but you weren't going to the doctor. If you had a toothache, my grandfather just pulled it. It was no dentist. I just knew that there was something outside of Glenville and I had to get to it.
Growing up poor in Glenville, Georgia, working the land was a requirement, not an option for both Shannon and Sterling.
Now this entire field
Used to be tobacco.
was tobacco. Small as I was 6 or 7 years old, and I would carry what we call a roll of tobacco. I was responsible for this roll. Crop tobacco, we take this roll all the way down. You work cropping tobacco 7 to 5, 6 in the afternoon, and then we would go catch chickens at night. So you caught 1,000 chickens, you got $1. Then we come home, get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and we go right back to the fields the next morning. During the school year, we did the same thing. So I had to walk from right here 2 miles to the end of the road to get picked up to school. That's where the bus dropped me off to walk back home after school. It didn't matter. It wasn't, oh, it's raining today, the bus is going to come down here and pick me up. No. I was going to walk down there, and I was going to wait for the bus to come, and I was going to get on the bus, and I was going to go to school.
The boys quickly figured out that playing sports was the easiest way to get out of working in the fields. As always, Sterling led the way, signing up at age 9 to play football. His impact was immediate.
We were playing in an all-star football game with Sterling one year. He was 10 and 11 and running over 12 and 13-year-olds the way he did. I mean, it was nothing for him to touch the ball 5 times, have 4 touchdowns. This was a young age. You know, and I don't care if it is rec football. When you touch the ball 5 times and you score 4 touchdowns, you're pretty special.
Football opened a new world to Sterling, but other changes were coming too. His grandfather, Barney Porter, died of a heart attack. This loss left Granny as the family matriarch and young Sterling as the man of the house.
My grandfather died. I was in the 7th grade. All of a sudden, now he's not here. There's no male role model in my house. The term father figure, my brother will tell you that I provided that for him, but I'm not his father. A lot of times I think he thought I was, and a lot of people think I am, but I'm not his father.
Well, he kind of was. I followed him everywhere. I wanted to be just like my brother. My sister used to always tell me, stop trying to be like him, be your own person. But he was the person that I wanted to be.
Coming out of Savannah State, the road to the NFL was not stellar.
My draft day was very easy. I mean, as soon as the draft came on TV, I was on my way to the airport because the Green Bay Packers had drafted me 7th overall. I wished that for my brother. I mean, going from the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and then all of a sudden getting a call from the Denver Broncos saying, we're taking you in the 7th round.
When I got to the Denver Broncos, I told the guys, I said, I'm making this team. I cannot let my grandmother down. There was not one night that I didn't go to bed, that I didn't think about getting rained on, about the mosquitoes biting me, about not having running water. It drove me. It drove me all obsessive, almost to the point of insanity, that there wasn't anything that I wouldn't do to make a football team.
While Shannon was learning the pro game, Sterling's career was flourishing until in the 1994 season, a neck injury forced him to retire.
I'm just starting to come into my own. I'm just starting to become the player that I thought I could become and I wanted to become, and now he's no longer there.
Throughout his career, Shannon carried the weight of his brother's injury, his upbringing, and focused his energy on being the very best. World champion, All-Pro, member of the 1990 All-Decade team. With all of his many accomplishments, one thing remained.
So many people had went above and beyond what was necessary in order for Shannon Sharpe to be successful. I represented Mary Porter. I represented Glenville. I represented Coach Hall.
Shannon's success did not go unnoticed when in 2011 he was selected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
When I first came up 2 years ago with Rod, my grandmother had a leg amputated. In the process of having her leg amputated, she had a heart attack. I was like, she's not gonna hear me thank her, to be able to give the speech, to say, Granny, thanks for everything you did. I am the man that people see today because of you.
Physically, Mary Porter would not make it to see her grandson's enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. She passed away July 6, 2011, just 1 month before the ceremony.
What makes this moment so special is that my grandma had an opportunity to see me get elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. My grandmother passed last night as I'm sitting here in this chair doing this interview. I think she knew she couldn't go to Ohio in her present body and see me. She couldn't go in her present body and hear me. She had to leave in order to see and hear me give that speech. You just to realize that my grandmother's not here anymore, and it hurts. I know she's saying, baby, don't cry. She's saying, we all got to do it one day. And there's no question in my mind I would be where I am sitting in this seat had it not been for her. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry.